Hey everybody, I'm Sam Riedel with the Mary Sue.
And I'm Carolyn Cox, and we're here at the Star Wars Costumes exhibit in Discovery Times Square. Sam and I went through every single Star Wars movie, right from The Phantom Menace to The Force Awakens, and we got to see every single aspect of the Star Wars world. There were droids, Jedis, villains, weapons. The weapons were awesome. It was a really well-rounded and all-encompassing look at the universe of Star Wars.
I feel so bad that I can't remember.
I know.
Numenera Unduli as a Jedi Master and General.
I feel like
How do I not know anything about her?
Especially like this costume is rad. She's not sexualized at all.
No, she's
It
covered up
seems
a lot.
maybe a little too covered up for combat.
Now I'm going to have to go back and watch the prequels.
I
Now look what this
know.
exhibit is doing to me.
I was like kind of dreading doing the marathon of the prequels, but now I feel like it's something I need to do. Also, they have additional Star Wars sound effects here.
Oh yeah.
BB-8 is real big.
Oh, so here we've got the Holy Trinity of droids over here.
Babby Jesus.
I guess R2 is God.
Yeah, R2 is God.
And C-3PO is the Holy Ghost because he always thinks that everybody's gonna die.
Yeah.
I would have had an entirely different relationship with C-3PO.
If he looked
like
this.
For real.
Yeah. I would have listened to him when he was blathering.
This is the Senate gown that Queen Amidala wears.
Yeah.
When she's trying and totally failing to convince the rest of the Senate not to go to stupid war.
It's very regal though, like the first one we saw.
It is tight. How long would it have taken to like bind all of that up
Oh
in
my
those
God.
weird like scroll case things at the end? Oh, this is Luke. Oh, so this is Luke when he like has been training for a while. And when he goes into Jabba's palace.
I didn't recognize that costume at all.
Now there are some fan theories about this.
Yeah.
Because he's dressed all in black.
Yeah.
May or may not actually be a Sith. The more I read about it,
The
more I kind of buy
Same.
it.
I don't want it to be that because I don't want to have suspected anything, but I agree.
I watched Return of the Jedi not too long ago.
Yeah.
And every time I watch that movie, it used to be my favorite when I was a kid.
Same.
Because, I mean, Ewoks. But the more you watch that last scene, Luke doesn't really do anything good. There's something about this costume that with the big, like thigh-high black boots.
Like imperialistic.
The really
Dark tones.
The belt is all tarnished and junk. George Lucas specifically said to him when he's like, oh, my costume seems really Vaderish, and George Lucas says, it's supposed to be. So, spoiler alert, Luke is definitely the bad guy.
The exhibit also gave us a newfound respect for the prequels. Obviously, the movies did not live up to the potential of the original trilogy, but the production design did, and it was fascinating to see the world building and effort that went into it from all these amazing creators, things that we might not have appreciated when watching the trilogy through the first time. We were really excited when we got to the Force Awakens section because it gave us the opportunity to look at costumes for the main characters. Finn, Rey, up close. Finn in particular was awesome because it looked like a costume a dude would just wear on the street, which made us feel like we could all be Finn. Finn's jacket in particular reminded us of a certain Luke look from A New Hope. Anyone else see the similarities? Rey in particular was awesome because it made us feel how hard it must be to live on Jakku. She's covered in scarves and goggles, and it just immediately put you on the world of that planet, and it was terrifying and awesome. What is that staff? What could you possibly be storing in there? We noticed that a Stormtrooper TIE Fighter costume on display in the Force Awakens section had an extremely feminine cut with narrower shoulders, tighter pants, which leads us to hope that maybe there will be more female troopers than just Phasma. Maybe she even leads a whole army of badass Amazonian female troopers. We don't know. I hope so. If you live in New York, you should absolutely check it out. It's really emotional, honestly, to be around all these costumes that have so much history to them. and to be so much more excited for The Force Awakens than you could possibly imagine being. If you don't live in the New York area, then hopefully this video gave you a newfound appreciation of some of the costumes from the prequels and the original trilogy that you might not have gotten a chance to really examine before.